The Daystar Bible Institute is starting a new class Monday, January the 11th. It's called New Testament Survey, so it'll give you the big picture of the whole New Testament. Now, why is this class important? Well, the New Testament is a collection of 27 documents. We call them books, but some of them are actually less than one page, so calling it a book is kind of a stretch. But here's the interesting part. Even though these books were written by different people in different places and at different times, they're not an assortment of unrelated documents. The New Testament has a unity, almost as though there were one mind guiding all of these different people. So why does it matter? What difference does it make that the New Testament has unity? Well, quite a bit. Because you can read one page out of the New Testament and get some benefit from it. It might be a story about Jesus, or maybe part of a letter from an apostle to a certain church telling them how to handle a real life problem. But you'd understand that one page better if you knew how it fits into the whole unified story of the New Testament. It's like when you come in the middle of a movie. You might enjoy an exciting action scene, but you'd be like, that was cool, but why were those guys fighting? And why did they both want that little bottle of liquid? Then someone who'd seen the whole movie could answer you, well, they had both been poisoned and there was only enough antidote for one of them. Then you're like, oh, I wondered why they were risking their lives for that bottle. Now it makes more sense. It's kind of the same thing with the New Testament. Understanding the whole will help you understand each part. A good example is 2 John 1:10. If anyone comes to you and does not bring this teaching, do not receive him into your house or give him any greeting. If you just read 2 John and you come to that verse, you're like, what? Does this mean I can't be hospitable to people who aren't Christians? And you can't say hi to certain people? And then the next verse is confusing too. For whoever greets him takes part in his wicked works. What? So if I say, greetings, friend, to somebody, and then the next day that guy robs a bank, I'm guilty too of the bank robbery? That is a bizarre verse. But if you know the whole story, it makes perfect sense. John, who wrote this, was overseeing a number of churches near Ephesus. And a particular group within the church had recently broken away. They left the church and they were denying that Jesus was God's son. So that's why in 1 John, he said, they went out from us, but they did not really belong to us. For if they had belonged to us, they would have remained with us. But their going showed that none of them belonged to us. So, these people left the church and now they were traveling around teaching that Jesus wasn't the Son of God. They were like, believe in God the Father. Don't believe in Jesus. He wasn't the Messiah. He wasn't God's Son. So John says, who is the liar? It is whoever denies that Jesus is the Christ. Such a person is the Antichrist, denying the Father and the Son. And then he says in 3:7, dear children, do not let anyone lead you astray. So these people were traveling around and trying to lead people astray, trying to lead them away from believing in Jesus and the gospel. They are enemies. Think about this. Back then, there was no Super 8 hotel. Traveling teachers needed places to stay so they could set up shop in a town and teach there for a few weeks. And to get places to stay, they needed acceptance in the community. So John writes this letter and says, don't let them stay with you. Don't even greet them as a friend. As if you greet them as a friend, other people might think they're trustworthy and invite them to stay at their house. John is saying that if they're enemies of Jesus Christ, then Jesus' followers need to treat them like enemies and not support their attempts to tear people away from the faith. So now, when you read these verses, they make perfect sense. If anyone comes to you and does not bring this teaching, do not receive him into your house or give him any greeting, for anyone who greets him takes part in his wicked works. It makes sense now because we didn't just look at the book of 2 John. We looked at the whole New Testament. That's just one little example of why this New Testament survey class will be helpful. We are the Daystar Bible Institute, and we promote the truth of God's Word to help people walk with Him.